What were you saying?
For me?
Yeah.
I got a grandnephew.
You got a grandnephew.
Explain that. Yeah, explain that.
So my sister is like old enough to be my mom. And so then I have a niece that's like only like 3 years younger than me. And then she has a son. And so that's technically my grandnephew.
Tobias.
Say it again. You got a what?
So I got a niece that's only 3 years younger than me. And she has a son.
Oh, that's not technically your grandnephew. That's that.
Yeah, that's my grandnephew. So that's why I was like, yeah, it makes me sound old. Somebody told me I should never say that again, but I'm like, that's what he is, though.
I mean, that's what he
is. I ain't never heard that. I'm so sorry. I ain't never heard that. That's my grandnephew. Like, what?
Yeah, man.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, yeah. Congrats to my goddaughter, Nish, Nichelle, getting her license today. Very happy.
Congrats.
Very proud. Very proud.
Congrats for real. That's dope. You gonna make her drive you somewhere?
Absolutely. I'm no longer driving.
That's how it is. I remember those days.
I feel like every time, I feel like I don't mess up when I'm driving often, but every time I do, I look behind me and there's a student driver.
What did he ask?
It's like, yo, do as we say, don't do as we do. You know what I mean? Every time I mess up, I'm like, there's definitely a student driver. And I look to my left. Yep, there you go. And I just imagine the instructor like, you see him? Don't do that. You see him over there? Don't do that.
Every time I mess up, my dad is like either in the car or like he's seen me do something. And I'm like, this would happen in front of my dad. One time, our friend Adrian, he asked in front of our friend Adrian, he's like, be honest with me, son. Are you on drugs? And my friend Adrian just died laughing. I was like, I just made a mistake, man.
Be honest.
And he was serious. He was serious.
It must have been bad.
It was. And Adrian was just, okay, so what happened was I hit this deer and then the deer got up, but his neck was broken and it walked off and I freaked out and I drove off. And so my dad was like, you didn't call the cops? And I was like, no. He's like, so you didn't get the claim? And I was like, no. And he was like, and Adrian was with me and he was like, be honest, are you on drugs, son? And then Adrian just started laughing and I'm sitting there like, no. Like, so, yeah.
I'm more concerned about that deer now.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
You said the deer walked off.
Yeah, it was like
natural reaction, momentum.
Yeah, it stood up, and that joint was freaky. Man.
Oh, I'm so sad. You gotta shoot it.
Oh,
that's Georgia. Like you gotta shoot her or him after that.
I've never shot a deer. I've killed one apparently though. But
we don't know. It might still be roaming around.
Keep no
girlfriend or boyfriend list because don't nobody want it.
Keep no.
This was like 10 years ago, man. That deer gone.
No,
it's
man.
Dead.
I hope so. I hope they died like right after.
Keith, it's dead.
Oh,
that's momentum because even when you shoot one, it always like kicks up in the air and then dies like a couple of yards. My dad hunts, so.
Oh, okay. I was talking about hunting with somebody today.
Well, your dad need to hunt some more and stop driving all around America because it's a lot of deer out here in New Jersey right now.
It is?
It's mad deer.
Bro, I saw a deer at work yesterday and it was like, and I was at work in the city, in like the city of Atlanta. I was like, and then the deer just walked up and was like, and then it walked off and I was like, he know he wrong. He know he wrong. That's why he looked at me like that. Because he like,
why is a deer wrong though?
Because they knew it shouldn't have been in the city. It's like, yeah.
It was like you said. It was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know.
My goodness!
Just look the other way. I'll be out of your way in a minute.
Not supposed to be in the city.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
How y'all doing?
I'm good.
I'm
Y'all
good.
I'm
good?
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Happy
surprisingly
to be
wide
here.
awake.
Good. Likewise.
Me too.
What you say, T?
I said I'm surprisingly wide awake. I've been up to like 4:30, but I'm surprisingly alert.
Well, we going.
I think I'm sick. 4:28. I woke up today at 4:28. Couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah. I don't know. It's sync.
Oh, this podcasting. Hey guys, this is Keith, and you are listening to Thank God for the Group Chat. Is that the name of the podcast? Yes.
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 I just had like you ever like be talking and then like your mind goes
Now,
somewhere
Keith.
else? No,
Now,
but
Keith, are you on drugs?
no.
That should
I
be
got
on
a story.
shirt.
I got a story to tell.
That should be.
Now that y'all doing that, I got a story to tell. It reminds me of a story. It didn't even happen to me. It happened to one of my best friends. Right.
Mhm.
So his car broke down. So his father let him use his car. Right.
Mhm.
You know, they got multiple vehicles or whatever. And so he's driving one day and he's out with his friends. One of his friends needs to jump. Right. So he tries to jump his friend. Subsequently, his car, the car that he's borrowing, shuts down too while he's trying to give him a jump. So his father goes out there, jumps him and all of that type of stuff. And then like maybe like a few days later or maybe a week later, they're out or he's about to leave. He's like, all right, Dad, I'm about to bounce. And he's like, all right, man, be safe. And hey, no jumping.
No jumping.
No jumping, man.
No. NA. No jumping.
Hey,
No jumping.
no jumping.
Like he said it
Man.
he said it like I know y'all like I know you kids like to jump these days.
PP.
Yeah. But we don't do that in this family. We don't be jumping people.
Oh man.
He said it like he said it like, well,
jumping.
dang. He said it like, well, I know that's your only reason for leaving this house is you trying to go jump somebody. And we not helping nobody like that. No jumping.
Oh,
not in this family. No jumping, man.
That's funny.
Why do you gotta remind somebody? No, but welcome to Thank God for the Group Chat. I am your host. You know what? For personal reasons, I'm gonna go by King Roberson for a little while.
I saw that on Instagram.
I saw the change. I did.
Yeah. I'm looking at I'm in nothing too serious, but like just thinking about legal matters and stuff like that. I just think for right now it would be best to have my last name presented a lot more.
Smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move.
So we'll just leave it there.
All right.
I had my bad.
No, I'm introducing you right now. Hold on. So he got T here, T DeWitt. Always give him props for being an amazing rapper, and I did it last podcast. But even more so, he's an incredible friend, super talented dude. Just all around. I was talking to him about his job earlier. Super grateful to have him here. Sharice is here.
Thank you.
I jacked up her name last week for no reason, because my cousin's name is Sharice. And so like when I'm with her, I call her Sharice, and she's like, my name is Sharice. And so, no excuses. So Sharice is here with me. Speaking about best friends, definitely one of mine. Ready to get into this. Sharice is a journalist, and I want to figure out how to delve more into that. We'll see what she's up to. We'll see what she's what she is willing to do. So we got I'm not gonna say we had an action-packed podcast for you, but no, it's still action-packed. I just took off one thing because we need to really zero in on one topic this week. Alana will not be joining us this week because she has COVID-19, and we are keeping her.
Wait. We don't know that yet.
We not claiming.
Keith, what? No, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at what he just said. Oh my gosh. I'm laughing at how he tried to make it seem like he said nothing wrong.
But also, we not claiming it, bro.
Yes, stop. Oh my goodness.
I'm laughing at how he said it like it's a fact.
Stop it, y'all. No, I'm not laughing at this no more, yo.
Okay,
y'all
okay.
crazy.
Okay. So I was ready to come in just like podcast it out. Like I let y'all, I feel like I let y'all rock in mad spaces last week. And I was like, I wasn't myself last podcast. What? No.
He wasn't. I kept catching it, and I was like, I don't know, maybe he wants this to happen.
I was like, look, fine, let all of this stuff happen, fine.
When he wasn't like keeping us. That's what I call it.
Right. Like,
all
right. Well, if y'all know, then we good. Because I was like, maybe they forgot how I gets down.
He's like, wait, I'm being nice. He's like, I gotta stop.
I'm just saying okay after stuff I disagree with, but but nah, this week isn't that podcast for that because I wanted to talk about the Beyonce movies. I was ready this week. I was ready.
One was on at the gym today, and I was like, "The F is this?" And I was looking. I was like, "Why is this?" And I feel like it's one I've seen before, but it was awful. It was muted, and I could tell it was awful. Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not ready. I'm ready, and I'm not even a part of the Beehive. That's the crazy thing.
That's the crazy thing.
No, that's how you know.
Oh,
that's how I know.
And she's just the whole like contrarian. I don't even know. That's a good word for that. Yeah, like it's like
I am. I think that might play.
How do you not like her?
I don't not like her.
Yeah, I don't not like her.
Sharice thought I was calling her a demon a few days ago, and I'm like,
no. I was asking. I was like, are you trying to say?
No.
I just wanted clarification. Keith, why would you do that?
Do what?
Oh my God, he's back. Don't even worry about it.
I'm back this week. I'm like, I was waiting on y'all to become friends and stuff, and then I realized, I'm like, oh no, they are friends, and they've ganged up against me. Like, okay, I'm fine. I'm a movement by myself, but we a force when we together. Okay, let's stay together. Loving you, whether times are good or bad, happy or sad.
This is one hell of an intro.
Yeah. So upon further review, episode 108. This is pre you guys. We did an episode on Jade Koth. Don't feel bad, Tobias. Tobias made his face like, oh, pre us. So we did an episode on, not on Jade Koth, but you know how we are still very much so in our series with Say Her Name, and we will be naming these podcasts after women slain by police and wrongly assaulted by police until further notice. Jade Koth was our episode 108, and recently. We've been posting videos and stuff on YouTube more frequently. And one of the Jade Koth supporters, they hit us up and in support of what we were doing. And I'm going to find it right now. Yeah, so this is by Young Alchemist. He said this a week ago. He said, "Thanks for naming this episode after Jade. We have been organizing events for Jade down here in WPB, and not a lot of people are aware of this tragedy, so we appreciate any efforts to raise awareness about her." And I replied, I said, "Most certainly, please keep us posted." And he said, we're actually hosting a candlelit vigil for her tomorrow night. So by the time you hear this, they've already done it. They did it 3 days ago. If you have any questions about the case or the protest, please feel free to reach out to me. And I said, will do. I pray it goes well. And so I'll be following up with him on that. Number one, because he reached out to us. And so, one of the lesser known situations is something that we can make aware of and bring to the forefront. So again, rest in peace to Jay Coth. I believe she was all of 19 or 20 years old.
Wow.
Again, episode 108. If you want to know more, just Google it. So idiom of the week, our idiom of the week, and this is in no relation. Bite the bullet. What does it mean to bite the bullet?
I never get these right. Bite the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, I don't know. Like was there like a point in time where people used to bite a bullet for authenticity?
No. Before you go into like the origin of it, like just like what's the regular?
What it mean to you?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Oh, somebody bites the bullet. It sounds like when I feel like people say that when somebody like dies or gets killed or something. Like,
oh no, that's bite the dust.
Oh, that's bite the dust.
Mm-hmm.
Bite the bullet. Shy, you got anything? I'm drawing.
Yeah,
I'm shooting blanks.
I've always known it to like I've heard people use it when you're just in a tough spot. And it's like you have to make a tough decision or you have to do something or go through an experience that's going to maybe cause pain or make you lose something. And I always just compared it up. You got to bite the bullet. Like you just got to take it for what it is.
Mm.
Watch that be exactly what it is.
Well, you gotta remember, she's a journalist. She gotta mess with words. To bite the bullet is to endure a painful or otherwise unpleasant situation that is seen as unavoidable. The phrase was first recorded by Rudyard Kipling in his 1891 novel, The Light That Failed. It has been suggested that it is derived historically from the practice of having a patient clench a bullet in their teeth as a way to cope with the pain of a surgical procedure without anesthetic. So like kind of like if they amputating your leg or something in the middle of battle.
Somebody bites down. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen that in like movies.
Yeah.
So you hinted at that. You were saying that in the beginning. So
yeah.
There you go.
Though evidence for biting a bullet rather than a leather strap during surgery is sparse, it has been speculated to have evolved from the British expression to bite the cartridge, which dates to the Indian Rebellion of 1857. But the phrase chew a bullet with a similar meaning dates to at least 1796. The phrase was used in a literal sense in the 1975 film Bite the Bullet. One of the characters has a broken, aching tooth and cannot get treatment. He uses a shell casing to cover the exposed nerve. The slug is removed from the bullet. The cap was hit to expend the charge, and the casing was cut down to allow it to sit level with his other teeth. Bite the bullet.
Sounds painful.
Bite the bullet. And that, that, my friends, is our idiom of the week.
I like these idioms.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I'm learning some things,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, we'll see if we like this. Michael Jordan purchases a NASCAR team.
Yes, he did. I actually
go more into detail about it.
Oh,
yeah, Tobias.
Yeah, I actually looked up some stuff about this because it's actually kind of dope. So, Michael Jordan, as we were saying, has purchased a NASCAR team. Second black man, I believe I read this correctly. Second black man to currently even own any, like out of all the NASCAR teams, there's only two. Michael Jordan's the second one. And the guy that he got to be the lead driver is, I believe, let me make sure I'm I don't want to say the wrong thing.
It's Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, but I know who he is, but I'm just saying, I was going to say about him being black.
Yeah, he's
like,
black.
Yeah, like, I believe he's the first. Let me see. I believe he's the first black person to ever be in, like, this, like, considered for the particular races that are going to have him in. And what's crazy also is that Michael Jordan has said, growing up in North Carolina, my parents would take my brothers, sisters, and me to races. And I've been to a NASCAR fan my whole life. The opportunity to own racing teams in partnership with my friend Denny Hamlin and have Bubba Wallace driving us is very exciting. Historically, NASCAR has struggled with diversity, and there have been few black owners. The timing seemed perfect as NASCAR is evolving and embracing social change and more and more. And also, what's crazy is recently I was reading about how NASCAR actually banned the Confederate flag from being, like, you know, shown at NASCAR races and everything. And this Bubba Wallace guy, like, as he was starting to, like, kind of come up in the ranking and start being able to qualify for NASCAR, like, racist stuff was happening. Because, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence that NASCAR is primarily South, you know, a South thing. But, you know, like a noose was hung in his house, like on his garage, like back in July.
No, it's not his house.
It wasn't his house?
It was his workstation, right?
Yeah.
His workstation?
Yeah.
That's still effed up.
It is jacked up. And they investigated, quote unquote, air quotes, they investigated and they came to the conclusion that it was already there and it was already like that. And so they didn't pursue it any further.
Doubtful. I doubt that.
Because he didn't find it. One of the people in the pit, they found it. And they didn't even, who was also black, he knew about it. He didn't bring it to his attention. Someone else did. And he was like, yeah, did you see that? He was like, yeah, I did. But I didn't want to worry you before the race.
Yeah. So my question to y'all is, do y'all think out of all the years, like, Michael Jordan's been had money. Michael Jordan could have been on like a NASCAR racer. Do y'all think it's like a coincidence that now he's like, oh, let's get us a black person to own, and let's get Michael Jordan to own? Like, I feel like it's, on one hand, I feel like, man, that's super cool, and then on the other hand, I feel like that's really convenient in light of the times. So
it looks like to me, and this is just my opinion, it looks like to me he's trying to make up for what he didn't do before. Like when things came up, when he was in his prime, when he was the man. I feel like this is a attempt at, like, saying, like, oh, I'm not those things that people were saying about me back then. Like, I am for my people. I am. But it's just like, nah, like, you know, that's how I take it, because it was just like, when the limelight was on you, you didn't do what you were supposed to do and stand for us. Like, don't do it now, because it has it's like a train right now and it's running, and right now everybody is hopping on it, and they see it coming together. But when we was trying to get the coal in the engine, like, when you was the man, you didn't do that. You actually made it, you delayed what was coming. You know what I mean? So
I agree with that. I was honestly surprised that he even mentioned black people in his statement. That's how far detached I kind of thought he was, honestly. I was like, the fact that he even mentioned diversity, I was like, oh.
But, you know, you want to know something? And not to take over this whole segment right here.
No.
I'm not even shocked. I think because, you know, we recently saw Mike open up a little bit. You know, everybody knows Mike is a closed guy. You don't even hear nothing about him. For real. I think us seeing him cry over Kobe, I think him losing Kobe, because, you know, Kobe was like his little brother. I think that opened up his eyes a lot. I think that was outside of his father passing. and other things that I'm sure is touching to him. I think that's probably Kobe's death probably was something that hit him for the first time in a long time. You know what I mean? For a man that has it all, like it's nothing that he can't get. It's nothing that can't be in his reach. So maybe he's just in his awakening at this moment. Like maybe he is gonna start, stepping up for things and playing his part like he should have been years ago.
Someone did once tell me that men get more sentimental as they get older. So I don't know. What you think, Keith?
No, I don't think that is coincidence. That was the first thing that I thought when I saw that Michael Jordan did this. I was surprised about it, but it's kind of funny because although I was surprised, it actually makes complete sense. You grew up in North Carolina.
Yeah. You
grew up in North Carolina. A lot of the NASCAR stuff takes place. If a lot of it, if not all of it, I'm not sure. No, because I know Daytona doesn't. Daytona is Florida, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But a lot of it takes place, like, I think NASCAR is like, I think Charlotte is like the capital or whatever, like the hub or something, whatever that term is. So it makes perfect sense. He owns a basketball team. He owns the Charlotte Hornets, formerly the Charlotte Bobcats. He owns that team. So it makes sense for you to own the other best thing in Charlotte. You're Michael Jordan. I also think that at the height of racial outrage, that you do it.
I was thinking.
I do agree with the thought of what Sharice is saying. I think that a nerve has been struck by him. And I think that, and like you said, I think he looked back on his life and he says, what have I done directly for Black people? What have I done? And Nas talked about it in his album, and I think it's a skewed and it's like, yes, but no, Nas. He was like, everybody said that Michael Jordan doesn't do stuff for Black people. He does. We just don't know about it. And I'm like, no, he just started doing stuff. He just started doing stuff now. It's like, come on. It's been said that Michael Jordan owns prisons, and that he,
it's a different Michael Jordan. I've looked into that.
Yeah. Well, I know that there is a Michael Jordan that can go by a different name, and so it wouldn't be under Michael Jordan at all. It would be under a completely different name that he still profits from there being private prisons. But even the sheer fact that that's even a thought, there's some truth in every lie. You don't just make that stuff up. You know what I mean? You didn't get that from nowhere that Michael Jordan owns private prisons. Something's happening. Say you don't own prisons, you profit from them somehow. You're a profiteer of some sort. Also, the statements that allegedly he's made in regards to his shoes being sold and people dying over the shoes. Like, what are you going to do about the shoes? And he was like, and this is a quote, he said, I don't make them for those type of people. Like, and it wasn't like those type of people that kill people. He was saying, I don't make my shoes for people in the hood that can't afford them. I don't make it. Like, they not for them. But also when they were dying over him, and he was like, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, and that's what kept me away from Jordan for a long time. I'm like, man, you don't even care. Your shoes are $200+ and it's going up every year. And you don't care. You know what I mean? You're the reason why a lot of cats are like, I want my shoe to cost less because I saw what it did. I saw what it does to kids that can't afford them. You know what I mean? But even more so, I think not BJ Armstrong, there was a point guard that played on his team, and I'm going to find the name. I'm going to find the name at some point in this podcast because we're not coming back next episode to do it. We're going to figure out his name. He played for the don't quote me. I think it was BJ. It's not BJ. It's not BJ Armstrong. But there was a person on his team that was very adamant about what was happening in black culture. And he got crucified for it. And he was out of the NBA. He was on Michael Jordan's team. He was let go from the team and never played another game in the NBA. And Michael Jordan was quiet because he said, well, let me not put words in his mouth, but he was quiet about it all. And asked about it years later, he said, I felt like I could do more behind the scenes than to make a statement or whatever. But I'm like, what did you do? So for this, so long story short, this, and it goes on. The list goes on. So for him, and I think that's why me, Sharice, and you are surprised by this, is because we're surprised, but it's also like, it's about time. It's about time that you've done something to help or to shine light, not even shine light, but to do something that directly affects us and directly puts us in a good light. Michael Jordan, you are Michael Jordan, but you are black. You are you are one of the most influential black men. At a time, he was the most influential black man at the highlight of at the precipice of his career. You know what I mean? There were things that were happening then that needed to be said then and still need to be said now. So it is better late than never, but never late is better. When we come back, we are going to talk about someone else who is speaking up very late. Are we happy about it, or are we sad about it? Is the question. But we'll be right back to talk about Tory Lanez.